Hey guys, welcome back to the Struggleville YouTube channel. I want to do this video on printing FBA, Amazon FBA labels with a thermal printer, with a label printer. And I wanted to update this video. I did a video similar to it a while ago, but Google Chrome updated some items where they no longer allow Java, and Amazon used Java to print these labels. So once Google updated, then Amazon had to update. And now some of the settings have changed because it's all different. So if you've done FBA labels before and are now having a problem getting it to work just right, hopefully this video will work for you. Also, if you've never used FBA labels or never used a thermal printer for your FBA labels, maybe I can talk you into using a thermal printer instead of those sheets that have 30 on them at a time, because this really is a better way to do it. If you get the right labels for your thermal printer, they'll be removable, which is technically a requirement by FBA, even though a lot of people don't follow that when they use the 30 on a page thing. But it's also nicer because you're listing the item and then you go right to printing one label for that item, or however many labels you need. It cuts down on waste, plus you only have to handle the item once. Instead of listing everything and then printing all your labels and then grabbing every item and labeling it, you're just doing it all at one time. So let's take a look at this. I'm going to pull up a label, and I want to show you guys the settings you'll have to change because mine is different. So here's an item I got, and there's two things we're going to look at: the printer settings up here in the corner, and then also the print label. But we're going to work a little backwards. I want to show you the print label part first. So if we click print label in Google Chrome, it brings up their little print thing here. And the first thing you're going to have to do is make sure you're at your Dymo, if you have a Dymo. If you're using Zebra, a Zebra label printer, maybe this is a little different. I don't know if it'll help you or not, but I use a Dymo. So you can see here's all my different options. So I'm picking the Dymo, which was already up. The bad thing about this is every time you use Chrome to print something else, let's say you're printing a packing slip, so you have to go back to your laser printer, you're going to have to go back and change these settings. So, I mean, favorite the video, print out a list for yourself, do something so you remember it. But, so you're at the Dymo, you're going to have to click more settings because you're going to need these other settings. For layout, you want portrait. Here I'm at, this is what I use for eBay shipping labels, but we don't want that size. What we're looking for is 30,334, and these are just the labels that I use. Is this in order? No, they're not. 30,334. These are the size of labels I use. It might not be what you use, so yours might be a little different, but I will put a link in the description below to these labels, so if you want to follow what I'm doing exactly, then all these settings work for the labels I use. But 30,334 is what I use, 2 1/4 by 1 1/4. For margins, you have to change them to none, and now it'll fit, and you can just select however many copies you need of that item. So those are the settings you're going to have to remember. There's also the printer settings, so we'll cancel here. Now this is what could mess up people who have previously been printing FBA labels this way. Because when you go to this, it's asking you for the measurements in millimeters, the width and the height of the label that you use. Well, I took the exact measurements in the old way of doing it, and when I left them alone and went to print, the label came out really tiny, like so small you couldn't even read the lettering. The barcode would probably still work when they go to scan it, but you couldn't read it, and it just looked bad. And I noticed this really didn't matter. Like, as you adjust the numbers, you'll notice the size of the label changing in the print preview. So I just made it as big as I could without it going off the page, or where it just looked normal. You know, it didn't look scrunched and it didn't look all stretched out. So again, these settings, the 75 width and the 25 height, is the settings I use for the 30,334 labels. If you're using different size labels, you're just going to have to adjust these. Don't pay too much attention to the actual size of your label. Just play with these, do a print preview. This will save and stay the same every time, so you don't have to do it every time. You just have to do it once. So hopefully this helps you guys. The good thing is they got rid of Java, so you can use Google Chrome again. These settings you're seeing here will stay the same once you save it, but you are going to have to either remember or in some way save the print screen settings or the Google Print module settings. So hope this helps, guys. Like I said, I'll put a link in the description below if you want to just look at the labels I get, or if you want to buy the same labels I do. I'll also throw a link in the description that shows what label printer I'm using, but if you're using a Dymo, these labels work for all Dymos. I don't know if they work for Zebra. You're on your own on that. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys.